We'll call this December 17th Brown County Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Weiss, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. Good morning. First item on our agenda, we have the first reading of ordinance 152, mini ag rezone, and 153 lakefront rezone.
We'll do ordinance 152, applicant Nick Burbis. He's looking to go from agricultural preservation district to mini ag, and legal is lot 1, Burbis subdivision, in the south half of the southwest quarter of section 35 T124 R64W of the 5th PM.
I'll move it. Second. Moved by Fikert, second by Sutton, to authorize the first reading of ordinance 152. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We'll do first reading of ordinance 153. This is applicant Roger Gray. He's looking to move from agricultural preservation district to lakefront residential, and the legal address is lot 2C of lot 2, Schaefer Richmond Lake subdivision in the northwest quarter of section 25 T124 North, R65W of the 5th PM.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to approve the first reading of ordinance 153, lakefront rezone. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Just a couple minutes, Kathy, if you want to just...
No, I don't think we do.
I put him in like
She's like right on.
Oh, well, I'm looking at the 50, okay.
Nice
Dialing right in on
She's
the...
rocking us, yeah.
You must be timing this out, huh?
Practiced it all.
Trying to get it under control.
She's hoping we'd make the motions fast enough.
No controversy. Next item on the agenda, we have the public hearing on vacation of a plot.
Yep, this is by Bruce Jones, looking to vacate a plat. It's Jones Conservation easement tract in the east half of section 6, T125 North, R64 West of the 5th PM.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Sutton, to authorize the public hearing on vacating of a plat.
You're approving the vacation.
Okay, approving the vacation. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We bought a
Motion carries.
property next door to them, and their daughter's gonna move in it, and they're putting the two together
Sure.
out here on the 12W West.
Now I have 2 minutes.
Oh, dang it. Look it up. 45-second appointment.
Next week, they're gonna be tight.
Don't get off.
Well, we can go ahead and do the minutes from December 10th.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the general meeting minutes from December 10th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Weiss, to approve claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Lottery application.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to approve the lottery application for, I believe, the curling club.
For their tournament here.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We have auto budget supplements, and these are for the grants. We have some Homeland Security and then JDAI.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Weiss, to approve the auto budget supplements for federal grants. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Abatement.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the abatements. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claim assignment.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Sutton, to approve the claim assignments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I guess we can stop there. Next item on the agenda, we have the public hearing on the Edwards Preserve.
I did call the Corps of Engineers, it was last week Monday, and they said that that definitely is in the jurisdiction of the 40 acres, the south 20 acres is definitely in the jurisdiction of the Army Corps of Engineers. So anything that the county would do there would fall into the exact same situation that the southeast corner of the fairgrounds, what the county went through with that. So they have to, apply for the permits and all that, and we have to apply for the permits and all that in order to do any filling or anything in there, in that roughly 20 acres. And he said that if we needed a letter or any kind of proof of that, that he would be more than happy to send it up. So
there's a portion of that that's dedicated, or is designated as a wetland as far as they're concerned?
Yep.
We need to get exactly what portion of that.
It's all mapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
The Corps has got it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you following up on that. I think it would be good to get some documentation from them so we can determine what in the future we want to do and what we'd have to do in order to make some improvements if we chose to.
If we went ahead with anything, that would be the first step, is to get all that information, so. And I guess, and I never checked with the NRCS or FSA, but my guess would be that what we were told, that it wasn't a wetland, would be in reference or in regard to FSA or NRCS, but not U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Army Corps of Engineers, so. But anyway.
They all have their own definition.
Well, I think it's still a good deal based on the changes that were made. Initially, I was hesitant, but bottom line, we're exchanging the pieces, and the second piece is coming back to us, and we're locking it in for 25 years as a preserve. But in 25 years, this body has the opportunity, if budgets so dictate and that the money is needed, whoever's sitting at this table will again make that decision. So it's not like we're forever exchanging. I think it's a win-win still.
At the end of the day, we still end up with both parcels in Brown County's name.
Even as much as there was an email that took a shot at our state's attorney, and I don't know if all you guys, or the rest of you had an opportunity to read that or not.
I don't think it was an email. I think it was posted online. Just the comments about whether or not we have the ability to.
Yeah.
And I think that they've done a great job of researching it. I think we're good to go.
Thank you. I agree with you. The first one's wrong. If you recall back to I think it was the first time we addressed this when the whole room was full, there was 3 attorneys here that were all have an interest in Richmond Lake, and I said to them, if the county doesn't own it, you tell us where the legal description is that says that, because I can't find it.
Yeah,
and they all said, essentially agreed or stayed silent. So
Yeah,
it's not just us that thinks that, it's many attorneys that have an interest in this that think that.
That was a post, that's right, it wasn't any.
Yeah, it was just on the site.
Well, not hearing of anybody else speaking of this property, I would entertain a resolution to move forward with the exchange.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Sutton, a second by Kipley to adopt a resolution to go forward with the exchange of the land. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Got a
Motion
roll
carries.
call?
It'll be recorded, roll call, everyone in favor.
Right. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Well, we're not very far off. Next, we have Dave Lunsman, Chief Deputy Sheriff, changes in jail personnel, purchase new vehicles.
Morning, Dave.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay.
Everybody's there?
Doing well, good.
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 I don't know if we want to do.
Pass this down. Give you some idea what I'm talking about. I'm a visual person, so I'm assuming everybody else is, so kind of give you the idea of what we're looking at. In looking at some of our changes in the jail, here are some of suggestions and what we're trying to do. Recently, we already moved Lynn Kameen to the jail supervisor. He has taken on a lot of supervisory position with a lot of the administrative paperwork, a lot more duties. Therefore, we're requesting a $2 per hour increase for the position, not the person, but the position, so that whoever's in that position gets the $2, not actually Lynn, so it doesn't follow him. Second one is add one more sergeant position. The 2 that we have, that you guys authorized earlier this year, has actually created a lot of efficiencies for us. We found a lot of different things that we can save money and help us be much more efficient. So therefore, we're asking for one more. And again, the sergeant's positions, the one we asked for originally, were temporary. This is also a temporary through the time that our 2 people are deployed overseas. We want to see at the end, when they get back, how it affects the whole operation, and then we would discuss it next budget year. So right now, we're just looking at it during the time that they're gone. But that would be a $2 increase, which is the same. One more position would be another person and another $2 increase, just like the other 2 people during that period of time. And the third one is Henry has agreed to, which to try to get a little more efficiency, have Henry do not just the coordinator position, but also the supervisor position. Since he is part-time, this would be about $1. We're asking for $1 an hour more, just to bring him above what everybody else gets, because currently he gets paid exactly what all the rest of the 24/7 staff get paid. So with the extra duties and keeping track of everything, we think it's fair to put another $1 an hour. If you look a little bit further, I break this down not just by the hour so that you can see what it would cost. And the jail supervisor would be approximately $4,200 a year. A sergeant's position would be approximately $4,200 a year, with Henry's increase would be about $1,560 per year, for a total of just shy of $10,000 per year. Now, there are a couple ways, obviously, that it can be paid for, one of which we did recently had 2 retirees. They were at the top of their pay scales. That averages about, between the low and the high of a pay scale, is about $10,000 per person per year, times 2, that's $20,000. The other part with the sergeant's pay would come out of, right now, would be the 2 individuals that are deployed. That money would come out of there without any problem. And again, we have to discuss that at the end when they come back, what we're going to do, okay? The other part, just so you understand, is we're working on a couple other items in the jail in order to reduce our overtime costs, so that we can obviously reduce our money, but also to increase the efficiencies in the jail. Sometimes we have to spend a little to save a bunch, and I think at the end of this year, a full year of this, I think will show that. But that's why we've left the door open for the sergeants anyway, for us to discuss it after a year. So you're not locked into the sergeants any more than after they come back, our 2 people come back. The other 2 positions, though, the jail supervisor, that would be a yearly thing, and so would Henry's $1 an hour would be a yearly thing.
The jail supervisor, is that a hire within, or is that pulling somebody off as a deputy then, or how is that jail supervisor? Lynn, was he currently a deputy?
Correct, he was.
So do we have to look at replacing him as a deputy then?
No. What we did was, in the jail, had 3 deputies in the jail, and they were all equal. You kind of have to have somebody that has to answer the hard questions, so that's why we wanted to elevate one of those deputies. Now, we did bring him off the road, but we're moving some of the ones out of the jail onto the road. So we're not really looking for any more positions. The FTEs are the same, it's just we're jockeying people around.
I guess that was kind of what I know Lynn was a deputy out on the road, and I thought, well, if he moves in the jail, what happens for his position?
One of those out of the jailers is being moved to the road.
Okay.
To take his position. So we're not asking for more positions.
Who's going to the road then?
Keith Baker is going to the road as of first week of January.
And so none of this involves any new position?
Correct.
Just jockeying?
Correct. That is, no new people, I should say. The positions are like the sergeant position's new, actual position itself is new. The jail supervisor was never a new position, it just was never compensated, and we didn't recognize that before. It's in the policy, we didn't have to change anything. This is actually just giving them the power to be the person to make the calls and answer the questions.
little more quality control by having a supervisor,
Exactly.
hands-on type thing.
And get the butt chewing if necessary.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
What shift
Somebody to
does,
take the responsibility.
Right.
That's what we're looking for, is to be, you gotta have that pyramid. If you don't, you lose control.
Right.
Somebody's gotta be in charge.
Yes.
what shift does the jail supervisor work?
He works mostly the day shift, and
8 to
then
5-ish?
it's a 10-hour shift,
Okay.
4 days a week. And then the other deputy right now, which is Keith at the moment while Nate is gone, he's working more of an afternoon and evening shift, and working through Tuesday through Friday. And then that's why we need the sergeants to be able to work the night shift, 2 of them for the night shift, and then 1 during the day shift over the weekend. That way we have, again, somebody responsible for making the decisions and doing the things that we need them to do.
So do we need to create a new category in here under our pay stuff, or
Well,
as the jail supervisor? And the 2 categories we have are deputy sheriff, non-union, and then we have the, I just don't know where these fall, or
Well,
does not matter.
and I don't know the answer to that for sure, but this is the same thing we did with the investigators. Instead of giving them the pay increase, we gave that position the increase. Therefore, if they were to move out of it, they don't take the $2 with them, they just stay at their normal rate.
Sure.
That way it's easier for us to budget, for you guys to budget, the whole 9 yards. That's why we're suggesting that anyway.
And this was until next fall, when everybody returns from
For the
deployment?
sergeants. The sergeants, yes, but not the jail supervisor. That we want to be a permanent position. And also Henry's position with that extra $1 an hour would be also a permanent position. It's the sergeants, the 3 sergeants that we've asked for a temporary until the deployments are over. We still want to reserve the right to discuss what the efficiencies have come about with those, and then we can go from there, but we're not asking those to be permanent.
And is Henry still taking shifts as one of the 2 on duty, or 2 or 3 at 24/7, or is
When he
he
needs
simply
to.
reporting and scheduling?
No, he will fill in when needed. He's not on the schedule unless somebody calls in sick. They can't get anybody else, and he will go in and fill in. But he's at that, he can't do over 30 hours a week. So the scheduling, the leg bracelets, the patches, which he does, are all done at different times of the day and evening.
Can I add to that? Henry's also my point of contact. He's also Judge McGarrett's point of contact as far as any questions or any issues that come up. And he's always really prompt about answering email.
So functionally, he's already there.
Yes, he's just not being compensated in any way, shape, or form. He just kind of fell into it. This makes it, differentiates himself above, but we're not looking for a ton of money, just something to help.
Procedurally, we're gonna need to know what their new rate is and when it will take effect. So I don't know if you guys have all that information yet.
That would be totally up to you guys. If you agree with that, then the new fee schedule, I assumed, would take over the first of the year, just so that we, in the 2020 budget, keep a better eye of what's going on from 2020 on, so we know, we can actually report back to you guys a little better. That would be my assumption.
Well, I think if we, sorry to interrupt, but if we agree to it conceptually, then you work with HR and then get it set up so it's on the HR report to flow.
And if the salary schedule needs another category to accommodate that, then they can
Adjust
work
it
that
accordingly.
together. Right.
Well, I think you make a pretty good case for the situation, as well as leaving some flexibility, but covering what you need, because it is an extended period of time, as we do want to support those folks, but we're going to take care of business in the meantime. And when you have, the kinds of things we're responsible for, it's important to have somebody who's the go-to person.
Correct. And those are the things we've noticed, is the evenings and the weekends are the hard ones to really keep things flowing the way we want them to. We found a few things that are inefficient and are not up to the standard we want them to be.
So therefore, the 2 sergeants have really made a big difference. Now we're just looking for the 3rd one for that other night shift in order to bring that up to where the other 2 are. And then after the year, I'm hoping that I can come in front of you and say, this is what we have done and this is what the efficiencies are, and we're hoping that we can keep them permanently, or it's not doing what we want and we'll just go back to the way it was. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
And then just to recap the conversation about Henry and your input and so forth, it was just a reflection of somebody who's stepped up and taken those responsibilities, and it's evolved into a situation where they're essentially doing that, and it just
Correct.
he'd be properly recognized both in compensation as well as authority to do the things that they are doing.
Exactly.
And enhance that.
That's what we're looking for, is that being able to give him that authority to make some of those decisions. $1 an hour, we're looking at $1,500 a year is not a huge investment in order to get what we're getting back for the conversations between everybody throughout the county.
Erica, will you help them put some numbers together?
Are you guys gonna approve this then on a future HR report?
I think conceptually by consensus, unless there's any other conversation, would be the way to do it, and then to work together to get it developed, the details, and get it on an HR report next meeting after, or whatever it works out.
Fair enough for me? Okay.
I think you did a good job of presenting the case and explaining the benefits of making those investments, so we appreciate that.
It was well thought. I think it was well thought out. Between Mark and I, we sat down and looking at ways, because I know the county is hurting for money, and we're trying our best to try to find ways to be efficient, but yet also cut money. Any other questions? Okay.
Nope, job well done.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Dave.
You bet.
The second part of that, you didn't want to discuss that, or at this time?
I think we're not quite there. If you don't
Okay.
mind, I'll hold off just a little bit on that, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
that's fine. I was just looking at I thought, well, didn't know if you forgot or if it had changed, but that's fine.
I should have mentioned, I apologize, but
not a
no,
problem.
I'm not quite there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Looks like that takes care of our agenda items. Kathy, you want to finish up what you have going?
We have the Centennial Village contract.
Move it.
I didn't get the chance to read it. Is it changed from last year?
I sent out the changes maybe like a month or 2 ago. We just updated it with the recommendations from legislative audit that they provide us documentation when they give us our revenue split.
That was the biggest change.
That was the main change. Then the other change was it made reference to the commission assistant in there,
Yep.
and we changed that verbiage to the county commission liaison, which is...
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Sutton, a second by Piker to approve the Centennial Village contract as rewritten. All in
What's
favor?
that a question? So there was no changes as far as what the county will see per keg and
No.
all that jazz?
Just additional verbiage requiring them to provide us documentation of how they calculate that number. Like how many kegs they bought, a receipt, how many kegs they returned, the receipt, so we can see how many they actually get.
A little bit clearer
Kind of-
indication of what went
Just
on.
a better transparency,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of mirrors the other 2 contracts that we
exactly.
have as far as, so everybody's on level.
And that's what
playing field.
audit said, is
Right.
if you're gonna require this of your other 2,
Yep.
you should require it of Centennial Village.
Does this contract, I'm sorry about the interruption, but does this contract have anything to do with how some of our powers during the fair? That's my only concern, is that there were some issues during the last fair, and I haven't seen this contract, so I don't know if we have...
This contract has not changed in a very, very long time.
Is there any way I could take a look at it, because there were some issues last year?
Is it an annual?
No.
Was it in
How many years
particular
is
with
this for?
Centennial Village?
During the fair,
It
yes.
was.
Until we change it.
Yes, well, it's, and I don't know how the contract is, the contract for the person running the alcohol and the entertainment and all that stuff at the
Yes.
Centennial?
For the management of Centennial.
Okay, yes,
Right,
that's
right.
where we had trouble last year, and I kind of would like to have a little more teeth into it for us, so that if we have the same issues, that we would have something to work with, or you guys would. That's one of my concerns.
Right now, the way the contract states on the top column, doesn't it say Centennial Village Inc. is in full control of those facilities to do as they deemed necessary to function as an entity. Isn't that basically what that first column says, if I'm not mistaken? I just kind of read through that.
I'll just have to review it.
Would it hurt to just put it off a week, just so we can all read it?
I'll make a motion, we table it for a week.
My bad, not
Second.
reading.
More chance.
Okay.
More
We now
opportunity
have
to
an
review.
amended motion to table the
That will give
Centennial Village
You a chance
contract.
to look at the contract too.
By
I would like to
Sutton,
do
second
that.
by Pfeiffer, to put it off till next week.
I'll forward it to you right now.
I appreciate it, thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but-
no, I'm glad you did, 'cause
There's
I-
been some issues, and
I didn't realize
I'd really
it was-
like to
that
have
was my
something
bad.
for us to work with.
Now's the time to change it if we have
Absolutely.
to.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So Kathy, the latest version is November 4th, you sent it to us? Is that the one that?
That would have been a draft. I don't know if that draft includes changing the language from commission assistant to commission liaison.
It's got the yellow highlighting corporation will pay the county a portion of the sales concession.
Yeah, then that's what I changed.
Why don't you send me the latest version and include Dave, just in case mine's not?
Okay,
Would you
thank you
mind?
very much.
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
highlight
Send it
those
out
changes.
to all of us, that way we
Yeah.
can review it before next week.
All right, thank you again.
Thank you
Thanks,
much.
David.
Thank you. Okay, that was tabled for till next week.
The Weed and Pest Board appointment?
I'll move it.
Second.
We have a motion by Pfeiffer, a second by Kipley, to approve the Weed and Pest Board appointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance intergovernmental contract.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to approve the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance intergovernmental contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We have assigned fund balance for Centennial Village. It's for their fair revenue. In the past, you guys have assigned it to restrict the funds for fairgrounds improvements. And they brought in $9,580.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Sutton, to assign the fund balance of Centennial Village fair revenue. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Is there a fund set up then is that where we took the money for building, or is there a separate fund?
No,
that
it's just tracked separately. It just sits in our surplus cash. We've got roughly 80-some thousand in there.
in there?
That's kind of earmarked for fairgrounds / Centennial Village improvements, right?
So this
That
will
would be intent.
bump that fund to 90-ish?
I can get a new number for you
Okay.
guys.
Sounds great.
Okay, good.
The Brown County Sheriff's Report for November.
Move it.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to approve the sheriff's report for November. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Kathy?
I think that's everything.
Anything else coming before the commission?
Do you need exec?
I would
Legal?
Proposed or pending litigation for me.
I would entertain a motion for executive
Move it.
personnel. Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to go into exec for legal and personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are out of exec, and no action as a result. To note that Erica was here for personnel, and Ross and Chris White were here for legal and contracts. Anything else before the commission?
Move
adjourn.
to, second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Sutton, to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.